Need some coins for that God Squad you've always wanted? Check out redzonecoins.com for cheap and fast coins. You can use code ZERK for 10% off at checkout. Get 1,000,000 coins for $45.
The whole thing wobbin', wobbin', wobbin'. When I come around, got the whole thing wobbin'.
What's going on, guys? It's Zirksee coming at you today with another YouTube video, and today I want to talk to you guys about the my top 5 things that I so far am enjoying about the Madden 21 beta. Now, some things I have to mention: I definitely will be doing a final feedback video probably tomorrow for you guys, or maybe on Monday. One of those 2 days I definitely dropping a final feedback video. I also have been doing 2 tier lists now, going over the superstar players and also the X Factor players. So if you guys want to check those videos out, you can go ahead and find those. They were my previous videos. And make sure you guys follow me over on Twitter. A lot of people have actually been DMing me PS4 and also Xbox codes, so I've been tweeting them out. I may make an announcement, hey, code coming in a minute, or I may just tweet them out. So make sure you have notifications on. And I also want to give a shout out to Cameron Phillips for being a part of the Noti Gang. If you guys want a chance to be shouted out in the next video, drop a like in the vid, make sure you guys are subbed to the channel, turn the notification bell on, and comment down below Noti Gang, and also happy 4th of July. Now, as you guys know, we cannot record any sort of Madden 21 gameplay or anything, so in the background is just going to be a Madden 20 game for you guys. But let's go over my list of the top 5 things that I like from the beta, and I also would like to mention that some of these things may be changing when the game actually comes out. You know, we may see a lot of different changes, so just keep that in mind. So the first thing that I want to talk about that I'm really enjoying about the Madden 21 beta, and I don't expect this one to change at all, hopefully, the quarterback release time. Quarterback releases seem to be very, very quick, and I think this is really good. Now, I will say the Madden 21 beta in general does seem like it's catered more to offense. I feel like they kind of toned down everything defensively, which is exactly what they did in the Madden 20 beta as well. Like, zones really didn't work that well in Madden 20. As I've played Madden 21 more, initially I thought the zones were actually pretty good. Yeah, I realize now that a lot of times, like the corners won't even animate, the safeties won't even animate to go for an interception on a deep ball. If you use the Chiefs, you can literally chuck up streaks all day to Tyreek Hill, rat catch it, and half the time the cornerbacks will not animate. So I think they did that on purpose just so you could have a little bit more fun with offense and everything. But the quarterback releases are really, really good. Definitely helps even when there is a little bit of pressure, and I guess this kind of does go in to just make it one point basically. The quarterback pressure and quarterback releases, when there is pressure on the quarterback, if they sense pressure, they will throw the ball a little bit quicker to try to get it out of there, and also of course the throwing out of sacks and everything. I like all of that. That's just gonna be one point here, but the quarterback release time is really good. Madden 20, it was terrible. You had to cock back just to throw a little bit of like a 5-yard route, 3-yard route. It was terrible. This time, it seems like release times are actually a lot better, and I have to say I love it, because especially when people start to learn more blitzes and stuff in Madden 21, as long as the quarterback release time is good, it won't be an issue. Now, the second thing I want to talk about is going to be the new skill stick mechanic. I absolutely love this. I think it is so much fun. I do wish, though, that in the Madden 21 beta, they gave us more options at running back, because we don't really have a really good running back at all with superstar abilities. Really, the best runner we have is Lamar Jackson, because he does have jukebox. He does have the fast break ability, so he's really good on the run, and it is so much fun to use the skill stick with him, especially with the jukebox and everything. His jukes are so good, spins, everything is so much fun to like chain things together, hitting a juke left and then immediately juke right, hitting a dead leg into a spin, dead leg into a juke. I mean, it is really fun, and in the open field, it is pretty hard for the defense to get to you, honestly. Like, if it is one-on-one, it is very hard for the defender to tackle you. If they get within range, tackling is good enough to where they can get you, but as long as you juke or spin, they're probably not going to be able to catch you, which you could see as a negative thing. But I think the skill stick is really fun. I'm not sure if they're going to tone that down a little bit, but as I said, we haven't really got to use an elite running back. There is Todd Gurley with the Falcons, but he doesn't even have any abilities, I believe. There's Mark Ingram, which he's solid. Aside from that, we don't really have a very good running back to use in the beta. I wish we would have got like Saquon or Zeke or Christian McCaffrey, someone that we can really test out those really good abilities with. Maybe they did that on purpose, but it is going to be super fun when we get the game, and especially in Ultimate Team, when we get those abilities on the running backs, get to use the skill stick. If you guys haven't played the beta, if you didn't get lucky enough to play the beta so far, you are going to have a blast with the skill stick. The next thing I want to talk about is going to be pass rush, and kind of the lack of it, I guess. It's not really like we can't really tell that much, honestly, right now. The issue is, even though there's less pass rush in the beta, it could easily be because of the players that actually have abilities on the defensive line. There's not a ton of them. Every defense, I believe, only has one player actually on the defensive line. The Bucs have got Shaquille Barrett. The Falcons, and I can't remember them even having one player actually on the defensive line. I know that the Chiefs have got their defensive tackle, which for some reason I can't think of his name, Chris Jones, and the Ravens have Calais Campbell. Now, aside from those players, I really haven't seen much pass rush, and even from those players, I really haven't seen much. And honestly, I haven't really gotten pressured a ton. Most of the time, in order to get pressured, you have to bring, 5, 6 people, whatever. And even then, they come in kind of a little bit slower, allowing you to have a little bit more time. And obviously, with the faster quarterback releases, it really just helps it out. It's more offensive driven, I feel like Madden 21 is going to be. Again, though, it's the beta. Things could change. But an ultimate team, if you have Lawrence Taylor and Von Miller coming off the edge, yeah, it might be a little bit different than playing in, regular head-to-head where only Calais Campbell has abilities. If Von Miller and LT both have abilities on them, it might be a completely different game. But from the beta anyways, pass rush seems to be in a pretty good state. You can get a couple of sacks during the game, but it's not nonstop every single play. You're constantly pressured, and you don't have enough time to get rid of the ball. It's not like that. So I have to say, I'm a big fan of it because that was even a big thing in the Madden 20 beta, even with only having one X-Factor player or superstar player on the defensive line. The Madden 20 beta, it was ridiculous. Like, I remember Cameron Jordan being unstoppable. So I'm glad to see that that's not the case for the Madden 21 beta. And a big part of defense that I'm actually really enjoying, and maybe the only part on defense I'm actually enjoying, to be completely honest with you guys, is the run defense. Run defense has actually been pretty good. I will say this is more so to the inside run defense, inside zones, dives. Those really seem to get stuffed. It's honestly so good that sometimes I'm not expecting my defensive lineman to actually get a block shed, and I'll take my linebacker and try to shoot a gap, and I will literally run into my defensive lineman because I'm just not used to them getting block sheds. So I have to say, run defense is a big up for me in the Madden 21 beta from all that I've played. Of course, it does pertain more to, say, Calais Campbell. Someone like him is one I've noticed a lot. I have played with the Ravens a ton and the Chiefs as well. Calais Campbell gets a ton of block sheds. He obviously does have some abilities to help him out there, so he is just a monster on the inside. But stretches and everything, again, those do kind of seem to get shut down. I will say one thing about it, though, is it does seem, especially on read options, if the quarterback does tend to keep it, of course, more so pertaining to the Ravens. A lot of people use the Ravens, Lamar Jackson. When he bounces it to the outside, I have noticed that sometimes defensive linemen, they'll run slow, like super slow, getting around the edge to try and stop him, and it's just, they can't get there in time at all to try and stop Lamar, given he does have, I believe, 96 speed in the beta, so yeah, kind of hard for like a 70-something speed defensive lineman to catch Lamar Jackson. But outside edges on read options are really the one issue I've seen with run defense. But inside, it is going to be really tough for people that run like near close flex and try to do like all that dive stuff. Yeah, it doesn't really work out that well in the 21 beta. I will say that for me personally, I don't think I've had a game where I've let up more than maybe 35, 40 rushing yards to an opponent's running back. Lamar Jackson, that's another story. But as for the actual running back, I've been doing pretty good in that department of the run game. And the final thing that I'm going to talk about, and this is definitely the most controversial thing that I've seen on Twitter today, I have to say I personally love it in Madden 21. I do think there's an adjustment that could be made to it, though, that I'm going to explain to you guys, and that is Film Study. Film Study is an ability that is on Earl Thomas, of course, of the Ravens, and what it does is it shows you your opponent's play art if they run the same play. I want to say it's on the third time, I want to say. So if you come out and you're facing someone that is running just the same play over and over and over again, I want to say it's on the third time, it will actually show you their player. So if you hold right trigger, if you're on Xbox, to show your play art, it will actually show theirs as well, which I have to say, I like it. I definitely like the idea of that. It will definitely help some people out. There's a lot of negatives to it, though, that I've seen some people explain. A lot of people come out in maybe the same exact play, but they have different setups for it. You might have 4, 5, 6 different setups. I know there's some people that run one play and might have literally like 10 different setups, whether it be putting this guy in a slant this time, this guy in a curl this time, put this guy in a streak this time. There's a bunch of different setups you can do, but if you come out in that specific play, it is going to showcase all the audibles you do. It shows you the routes, whatever. If it's a run, it's going to show you it's a run, which I think is pretty cool, right? Because it obviously helps out the defender. But the issue is, as I said, some people were very, very upset with everyone on Twitter that do have different setups for the same exact play. And I can definitely see their point in that, because although they may call the same base play, they're making a lot of adjustments to it. So I think that's something they could do. Now, of course, this wouldn't change anything for runs. If you're running the same play over and over and over again, then it's going to show that off. But for passes, I feel like EA could tune this to where if they run the same play with the same adjustments, then 3 times, I think then it should show it. Now, another point that I've seen people make, and I definitely agree with it as well, with this, sometimes it doesn't even matter, because let's be honest, in Madden 20, a lot of people run 3, 4, 5 different plays all game. They just run like the same passing plays, same adjustments, same everything, and you still can't stop it. So, is it really going to change anything? I think it will, especially people that like to run the ball, because you can obviously tell if they're running it left, running it right, running it wherever. You can always quick snap people though, like if you come in the same exact play and they're looking at your play, just really quickly change it to a run or change it to a pass even, and you can snap the ball really, really quickly, and there's nothing your opponent can do about it. You know, if they're run committing and you just, boom, change it to slants or something, you can find someone open, boom, hit them, and you're gone. So there is a negative side to it for the defense as well, but I think a lot of people are not really happy with the ability as a whole, because they may have different setups for the same play. My personal opinion though, I hope that what it does is actually forces people to call different plays. I'm not a fan of people sitting there running the same exact play over and over and over again. I find that to be a very boring game, but at the same time, if they're doing different adjustments, doing different things, you know, it's whatever. A lot of people think this also is trying to close the skill gap between the really good players and the really bad players, but I also think this could help the really good players. If you know what you're doing and making adjustments, and you're playing someone that you don't think is up to your skill level, and they're getting pretty lucky, well, if they come out 4 verticals, well, you're going to be able to tell it's 4 verticals, so you can make the right adjustments to stop it. You can make the right adjustments to stop their plays. If they're non-stop just doing base plays, not really making different adjustments, that's why I think it'd be really good if this ability was changed to where it only showed if it was the same exact hot routes being made. If you normally come out, you call the base play, but you change the X receiver to a slant, boom, if you change it to a slant, it's going to show that play. So there's different ways to look at it. Do I think this will be in the game come Madden 21? I do. Do I think that this is a bad thing in the game? I don't really think it's a bad thing, but I think they should change it to where it's the exact same adjustments 3 times, boom, then you could say it. So the people that are saying, well, I have 5 or 6 different adjustments that I make to this play, and I run it that way, well, there you go. So with that being said, guys, I hope you did enjoy the video, and if you did, make sure you drop a like on the video, and of course, hit that sub button down below. If you guys have played the Madden 21 beta, let me know down below what you guys have enjoyed the most about it. Hope you guys enjoyed. See you guys next time.